All right. Let's talk about whoo. Let's talk about the Fox News host Tucker Carlson showing January 6th footage that was previously not seen before.
Fact check this morning after Fox News host Tucker Carlson aired previously unseen video of the assault on the Capitol on his show last night. What Carlson did is use selected clips from surveillance tapes provided to him by House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to claim falsely that journalists and lawmakers lied about the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Scott McFarland is in Washington. Scott, good morning to you. You've been following this very closely. What stood out to you?
Yeah, Tony, good morning. The narrative last night ignores the tens of thousands of pages of court filings we've read and the tonnage of footage already released by the Justice Department and shown in open court. And it ignores the powerful and at times tearful accounts of injured officers who are testifying under oath. Carlson called January 6th, quote, mostly peaceful and meek with a small percent that was violent. He showed limited, edited footage Monday night on his program that draws an audience of 3.5 million viewers and pointed to images of a few protesters shuffling through the halls of Congress. But our CBS News review found more than 300 people charged with actually assaulting police amid the mob. And body-worn camera like this shows attackers using spray, sticks, baseball bats, stolen.
Wait, what?
This shows attackers.
What the fuck?
Using spray.
Bro, I for a second thought this was ISIS. From afar, it kind of looks like doesn't it kind of look like ISIS from afar? I was like, what the fuck is she wearing? She got Louis Vuitton, and then underneath it she's got like a ISIS shirt. What the hell?
Spray, sticks, baseball bats, stolen riot shields. Sometimes their bare hands to beat police officers and damage the Capitol. In the days after the attack, 5 officers who served at the Capitol that day died. That includes Capitol Officer Brian Sicknick. Carlson showed video of Sicknick, who died one day after the attack, walking through the Capitol. Carlson saying Sicknick, quote, looked healthy and vigorous. But according to the report from the D.C. Chief Medical Examiner, Officer Sicknick died after suffering 2 strokes at the base of his brainstem caused by a blood clot. He collapsed hours after being assaulted by the rioters. His family released his...
Well, I love Tucker Carlson's argument, which is like, well, you see right here, Officer Sicknick was very much alive and wasn't being collapsed. And if you consider all the moments where he wasn't being collapsed on and very much alive, well, you know, it makes you think. How did Officer Sicknick get killed if for all of the other moments where he wasn't being collapsed on, he seemed to be doing fine? Yeah, me when I see footage of a person before they die, see, they were alive. Exactly. I love that that is the argument from Tucker Carlson, though. It is pretty funny. Yeah. Many people will tell you Officer Brian Sicknick was murdered as a consequence of the 2 strokes that he suffered from, collapsed hours after being assaulted by rioters. But many people won't show you, what the liberal lying news media won't show you, is the many years where Officer Brian Sicknick was very much alive in the lead up to his supposed injuries. That's so funny. Yeah, you're right, dude.
A statement to CBS News Monday night saying in part, on video, Officer Sicknick looks like he managed to shake off the chemical irritants and resume his duties. His sense of duty sent him back in and no doubt contributed to his succumbing to his injuries. The chair of the House January 6th committee blasted Speaker Kevin McCarthy for giving the footage to Carlson to, quote, spew lies and propaganda. The speaker defended his decision, saying those tapes belong to the American public. Tony?
Scott, you've covered this for 2 years. There have been all these court cases that you mentioned. Have legal teams, defendants been given access to video like this? What have you learned from the judicial process, I guess, is the question.
This is insane to be real. How is this level of propaganda not immediately ignored by anyone? Brother, you have to understand, mass psychosis is a very real thing, okay? People want to feel like they're right. Okay? People want to feel like their side is correct, their arguments are correct, and anyone who tells them that, they're going to listen to. That's it. They're not like motivated by truth. They're motivated by wanting to avoid the top of the hour ad break. Because at the top of the hour, there is a 3-minute ad break. Now, if you no longer want to see those ads, which many people are motivated to not seeing ads, you know, this is a predisposition for a lot of watchers, well, then all you need to do is subscribe. Back in the day, you couldn't use a $5 a month subscription, nor a free one in the form of a Twitch Prime. Back in the day, you couldn't even avoid the ad breaks by getting gifted a sub, but now you can. And some people will gift you a sub. And if you're lucky, you will receive it. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. JFK Rowling, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Virtual Meal, thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
Now, Tony, this isn't just the largest criminal investigation in American history. It's potentially one of the most photographed. There are thousands of hours of footage. Some defense attorneys have said it's almost too much. Some of the assaults shown are just medieval, but the violence that day came in waves. Tucker Carlson showed some of the walking around and milling about, but the fighting wasn't constant. It wasn't everywhere. It just happened at times. Carlson also focused on the case of Jacob Chansley, the so-called QAnon shaman, asking why some of the quieter moments involving Chansley didn't surface at trial. Well, Chansley pleaded guilty and didn't go to trial, and he admitted breaking a police line and riling the crowd. Gail, about 500 people have pleaded guilty in their roles that day, and the FBI is looking to arrest 260 more.
The new footage that
They will
the new footage that this legend released, by the way, was fucking dud. Yeah, we talked about Musk apologizing. Did you go over the Tucker thing yet? I did. I basically went over it briefly because I didn't really care too much about it because it just fucking doesn't, it's meaningless.
More than 40,000 hours of surveillance footage from in and around the Capitol have been withheld from the public. And once you see the video, you'll understand why. Taken as a whole, the video record does not support the claim that January 6th was an insurrection. In fact, it demolishes that claim. And that's exactly why the Democratic Party and its allies in the media prevented you from seeing it. By controlling the images you were allowed to view from January 6th, they controlled how the public understood that day. They could lie about what happened, and you would never know the difference. Those lies had a purpose. They created a pretext for a federal crackdown on opponents of the Uniparty in Washington.
Our office wanted to ensure that there was shock and awe, that we could charge as many people as possible.
The first thing you notice from viewing the full video record of January 6th is just how many people entered the Capitol building that day. Hundreds and hundreds of people, possibly thousands, over the course of about 2 hours. The crowd was enormous. A small percentage of them were hooligans. They committed vandalism. You've seen their pictures again and again. But the overwhelming majority weren't. They were peaceful, they were orderly and meek. These were not insurrectionists, they were sightseers. Footage from inside the Capitol overturns the story you've heard about January 6th. Protesters queue up in neat little lines. They give each other tours outside the Speaker's office. They take cheerful selfies and they smile. They're not destroying the Capitol. They obviously revere the Capitol. They're there because they believe the election was stolen from them.
You know what? This is so funny. It's like, look at, he literally just said, hey, don't look at all the instances where they were like beating the shit out of cops and breaking windows. Look at all the instances where like they weren't doing that. Here, I know you guys have like 18 hours worth of footage from numerous cameras doing the other thing, but also they took selfies for like the 5-minute cherry pick data points that I have, and it was actually kind of cute. Let me just explain something here, okay? Everybody saw January 6th. I mean, there was like 250,000 people in here watching it live happen. Okay, we watched it live. Like, it wasn't like It wasn't that long ago, first of all. And it's not like we didn't see it. So I don't, like, what is he trying to do? Like, is he just hoping that his audience doesn't have, like, object permanence? Like, is that what the fuck? Like, this is a wild thing to show, dog. This is the classic joke that I make all the time where it's like, Your Honor, I know my client, you claim, has murdered someone allegedly, but think about all the many years where he hadn't murdered someone. Here he is, getting into his car. You might say he's presumably going to do a murder. He's on his way to do a murder. I say he's not doing a murder right then and there. Is he doing a murder in this scene where he stops to get a Starbucks coffee on his way to do the murder, you might say? But clearly, he hasn't killed the barista. Checkmate, Your Honor. Seems like he's not a murderer after all.
Believe in the system. Here's the man you've heard referred to as the QAnon shaman outside the Senate chamber. These are not rioters. These are people who wandered over from a political rally.
We will not
wandered. They just wandered. Yeah, dude. Oh, dude, this is such a good take. Yes, I wish I fucking came up with that joke myself. So it's like reframing 9/11 into a navigation accident. Yeah. You might be sitting here saying Muhammad Atta wanted to destroy America, an American symbol. I like to think that he was simply an aviation enthusiast who took matters into his own hands and unfortunately led the plane astray. Yeah. He was misguided. Yeah. There is no amount of dumb shit that, like, white conservatives could do that Tucker Carlson won't defend, dude. I mean, we know this already. He defended Warren Jeffs. Tucker Carlson, who constantly talks about, like, grooming gangs and, like, Muslim pedophiles or whatever the fuck, whenever he tries to make, like, anti-immigration arguments, unironically has in the past defended Warren Jeffs. So he literally thinks it's okay when white people are doing grooming and child rape. We have pictures of Atta at the airport. Notice he didn't have a plane back then? Yeah. Yeah. Look at Muhammad flying the plane normally. Is he crashing into the Twin Towers there? I don't think so. Just because he's in the New York City airspace doesn't mean that he was driving the plane into the fucking towers. That's right. Kind of fucked up.
Silence your voices.
After the rally, they walked down Pennsylvania Avenue, where organizers had secured a federal permit to hold a legal rally on the grounds of the Capitol.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Bro, it doesn't matter. They didn't do that. Like, what the fuck do you mean? They literally didn't do that.
Once at the Capitol building, things began to get chaotic. Capitol police officers fired tear gas into the crowd. A few at the front of the herd broke windows.
Bro, that's awesome. Okay, so this is correct usually, okay? In many of the instances where, like, Black Lives Matter rallies are happening, which are against the police, remember, it's oftentimes peaceful protests until cops escalate it. This was not one of those instances. They didn't even use, you already admit in your video, and I know this part of the video will basically reveal the truth. You already admit in your video that cops were infinitely nicer to these fucking dipshits than Black Lives Matter protesters, you fucking dingus. That's why this is like completely and totally unwarranted. Once again, we watched this happen live. And in that live instance where there was so many different angles, it was awesome. We watched this shit happen live. And even we were like, what the fuck's going on? This is the one instance where it is totally valid to do use of force.
Someone opened the doors, and many hundreds of others just walked in.
They're going to make that the story.
Of course, they did make it the story. And at the center of it, the single most famous person arrested that day was a Navy veteran from Arizona called Jacob Chansley, often referred to as the QAnon shaman.
The so-called QAnon shaman. QAnon shaman.
Someone named Q Shaman.
Jacob Chansley became the face of January 6th, a dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison, far more time than many violent criminals now receive. What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment? To this day, there is dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol building. But according to our review of the internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside. Virtually every moment of his time...
Look, he doesn't say how he got in, but once he got in, cops were leading him around.
Inside the Capitol was caught on tape. The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped
Bro,
him.
that's crazy. Oh my God. It's like, dude, while an insurrection is happening, police are like very clearly following around an insane guy instead of beating the shit out of him because he's a white guy and a conservative. Let's be fucking real. Okay? If this was an Antifa movement full of like minorities, you know what I mean? Like black people, brown people, whatever the fuck, right? And they were like communists, they would have gotten machine gun fired, okay? Get the fuck out of here. They walked in and literally took fucking selfies with the people that walked in. Cope harder. It doesn't matter. All of your fucking idols are disgusting pedophile fucking freaks, okay? They're all, some of them are in jail. And no matter what you say, libtard media destroyed the reputation of your fucking mom, of your dad, and you are a pathetic fucking loser who is destined to live the same exact sad, pathetic existence that your divorced dad lived. Okay, you are destined to repeat the narrative unless you change your ways right now. Okay, there you go. Joe Brandon has done the 2,000 mules. He fucking stole the election from Donald Trump, who was going to save America, and he couldn't even fucking save America from the pedophilic deep state. Okay? There you go. Cope harder, my fucking dick. Oh, one bad white guy, bad all? Wait, what? That's not true? What are you saying? You just made that shit up. That's not what I said at all. These guys are conservatives. They're Trump supporters. In a lot of instances, police are also Trump supporters. The reason why they were taking selfies with the Trump supporters was because they were like, well, you know, we're kin, you know? We're kinfolk. And we're skinfolk, but definitely kinfolk. Okay, we have the same attitude. We have the same ideas. That's it. Meanwhile, they fucking killed cops and shit. What is this? Fucking bozo. What a fucking mindless boob. Silent. Shut the fuck up, you reverse racist white fuck. Wait, what? This literally helps leftist arguments, by the way. It proves the police are corrupt. I mean, I said this on that day. I said this on that day. They were literally fucking taking photos with the protesters that were like running into the fucking to the halls, storming the halls of the Capitol. What do you mean? That doesn't mean that they weren't doing something wrong. We know what they were doing. There's so much evidence. What the fuck?
They acted as his tour guides. Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley.
They're literally saying, like, cops didn't beat the shit out of this guy, so he must be innocent. I love that. That's a great argument. Thank you, man.
Not one of them even...
Brandon stole the election and Deep State instigated a color revolution at home to crack down harder, but that's just the game. Trumpo couldn't stop it. Weak. Nixon knew JFK stole the election but couldn't stop him either. That's right, baby. Liberalism is on top, okay? That's right. Take the fucking L, you psychotic weirdo. Okay? Imagine getting fucking owned by the they-them police force that literally fucking pray at the altar of Nancy Pelosi every day. They go to the Nancy Pelosi altar and they pray and they say, oh, thank God that you have transed us, Nancy Pelosi, our overlord. You know, you're fucked. You're fucked. Liberals won. That officer from the chamber testified during the January 6th hearing. He literally explains why he did this. Lamau. He had no idea where House members were, and he was trying to calm the dude down, but was terrified. Read my last message, important. The white community does not claim these guys, bro. Yeah, what the fuck, bro? Not all whites.
Tried to slow him down. Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these
Nancy's Pelosi's. Thank you for the 5. Get the subs.
to allow us in this building.
Contrast the reality of what Jacob Chansley did in the Capitol building on January 6th.
What?
Indisputable facts recorded on video. Some of
Bro, I'm losing my fucking mind. Like, dog, exactly. Like, yeah, no, that's the point. That's what's additionally fucked up about the situation. I don't get it. Like, what the fuck?
of which has never before been seen, with the depiction of Jacob Chansley that you've seen in the media for more than 2 years. He's a terrorist, they said. He should be killed.
Shoot him. Shoot him. Like, you burst into the United States, if he was dressed like bin Laden, would you have shot him?
Shoot him. Shoot him. It makes you wonder, who are the violent extremists here?
No,
Jacob.
these guys. No, like literally still these guys. Like the violent QAnon psychos who broke into the halls of the Capitol. And there are good reasons to do such a thing, for the record. Like, you know, they're not doing this for healthcare. They're not doing this for labor rights being violated. They're not even doing this for abortion rights. They're not doing this for, like, bodily autonomy being removed from 50% of the fucking American population. They're doing this because they're upset that Donald Trump lost the election to Joseph Robinette Brandon. That's crazy. Yeah, they're seditionists. Doesn't Tucker know that the guy that said shoot him is a conservative? He doesn't care.
Jacob Chansley, and the video proves that. But you would never have known from the media coverage.
The people sitting in the
again, I can't believe that he like posted this and it has 1.9 million views And I looked at the comments a little bit, and it made me want to fucking die instantly. We all need to keep these people in our prayers. This is not the America that I love. The America that I love would have let those people come in and kill Nancy Pelosi. I don't know what's wrong with America these days. Thanks for showing us this. I saw similar videos a few days after January 6th that showed police officers allowing some of the public in, people who were calmly walking in and who were not disruptive. The whole truth is something very different than what the left has wanted to depict. Bro, you are an animal. Like, you are actually, I don't even know. You're like we all watched it, dude. What the fuck? So all it took was like 5 minutes of them, like the only 5 minutes that you could find from January 6th where they're not like directly being violent. Like, that's insane, man. There's like not even 18. There's like hundreds of hours of footage from cell phones, okay? Because people were like straight up filming themselves from cameras that were all over the fucking place. And these motherfuckers needed just 5 minutes of them walking around to be like, yep, they're peaceful. Every person guilty of orchestrating the cover-up should be financially and legally responsible for any and all lawsuits stemming from those individuals unlawfully incarcerated, says Kenny C. I can't. When I see stuff like this, I'm like, there is no saving this country, okay? We are so insanely cooked, dog. We are so incredibly, insanely fucking cooked. Oh, it's 40,000 hours of footage? That's the real number? Oh, I love that. That's fucking even better. McCarthy gave Fox 41,000 hours of footage, and they cut 5 minutes, showing the only 5 minutes. It's funny. Maybe they didn't have the media experience you did when you were there. Shut the fuck up. Adamım. Saçlar uzamış. Al. Güzel olmuş. Kesme. Sakalımı top ettirdim, saçlarımı kestirdim. They came with handcuff ties, bombs, and guns. There's so many texts. There's so much footage. Why? No, this is like unimaginable. Murat, did you see the new Tucker Carlson thing? He posted 5 minutes of clips over 41,000 hours of footage from January 6th to imply that January 6th was actually peaceful and the media is lying to everyone. How fucking insane is that? This isn't a clip chimp. This is a clip gorilla. Bro, this is clip King Kong, dude. It's not just a gorilla. This is a clip King Kong. There is no, like, I've never seen spin like this, bro. It's fucking insane. Like, cops died and shit. Like, there's nothing. Dude, 41,000 hours. Yo, I love that, dude. I fucking love that. No, I'm good. Okay. Ay, ay, ay.